listen, never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's no human being on the planet that I'd rather be talking to right now than Trevor Story. That's a fact. That's a fact. This is a great way to kick off your work day.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe you, but I'll take it.
It's true. What are you talking about?
All right.
Come on.
I'll take
it. Yeah, I always enjoy talking. And so the first question is an obvious one. When I give you a sticker, when you're walking from the Yankee Stadium field into the dugout on June, let's say, 4th-ish, did you feel right there the positivity coursing through your body?
I definitely did. It's been a big part of the resurgence.
Thank you.
The baseball isn't boring stickers. We've got a lot of them now. We've kind of started this tradition, so we got to keep it going.
I mean, does everyone realize this? I feel like you do have a lot of, I don't know how many more Yeti bottles and laptops and lockers you can be putting this on. So you got to be spreading the wealth. So what we're talking about is, listen, it works 100% of the time, 90% of the time. Mm-hmm. And it was in Yankee Stadium. You were coming off the field. I want good things to happen to you. You're going through some tough times. I gave you a sticker, and since then you became the best hitter in baseball. It's science. I mean, I'm not even lying. You have become the best hitter statistically.
Science. That's just, I guess that's a fact now. So, yeah, man, it's cool. It's a cool little thing. Positivity, man. I think it goes a long way, and I appreciate that. So we'll keep it going.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's positivity. Like when I interviewed James Woods and he hits a 451-foot home run, that's all he's thinking about is he's rounding the bases.
Yeah,
it's that interview. So I do want to. So you talk about, you're a fascinating study. I'm going to take that back. It makes you look like a cadaver. But it's a fascinating study about your season, about mentality, about process, about evolution, about we can't. It is a roller coaster any season like this.
Yeah.
So when we talk about that sort of up, down, up again, how much of it is mental? How much is just getting in the right headspace?
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, most of it, I would say. It's such a, the talent level at this level is everyone can do something special. And I think I lean, early in my career, I leaned on that a lot. And I think just, time away from the game and, as you get back into it and back into the flow and do the adjustment periods of it, it takes some guys longer. Sometimes it doesn't. But I think what I've learned about myself is, most of it is mental. And just being in like you said, the right headspace to execute my plan that night. And a lot of it is about, relaxation, a lot of visualization, and just kind of getting out of having the energy on me. It's more about, what I want to happen, envisioning that, and just relaxing, I think, has been a big part of, me relearning kind of how to do that and do it on a daily basis.
But you can do that. You went a month. I mean, you went a month every day trying to do that. And, without sort of probably the results that you wanted. Mm-hmm. And then the urge to, and other people's urges to try to fix you.
Yeah.
Or, and you trying to fix you, all of that. That was the ultimate test, I guess, to what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a total buy-in. I think with the mental game, it's, you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because it's work that you can't really see, and that's the part that is so easy about turning to mechanics or turning to technique, because that stuff you can go in the cage and hammer for 4 hours a day and you can see it, it's tangible, so, but the mental stuff it's not so tangible. You can't really see the work that goes on. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and but to me it's the most important and it's the most rewarding. And once I kind of just submitted to that, man, and just really, really bought into it, because I tried the other way for so long. And now that I'm, we've done this for about a month, I can feel the consistency, and I think that's where it lies.
Like I said, a lot of well-meaning people are trying to, help too, and it's like all along the way. And I don't know if I think about a year ago, we sat, maybe it was in a dugout in Colorado or something. You were and you talked about their low points and fighting through that. Like you've had to fight through a lot more than you probably 3 years ago ever thought you would have to fight through, right? Yeah, for sure. It's been a grind. The first 3 years didn't, kind of pan out how we wanted to, but that's life. And I think the way you respond to it, the way you come back from it, says more about who you are, when things are going perfect. So, and this is life, man. I'm learning. I'm still, still evolving, still trying to be the best I can in every aspect of my life. And that's also, too, has a big impact on it. I love baseball. It's my favorite thing to do in the world, and it's my job. But, I feel like I'm more than that. It's more about, being a good dad, being a good husband, a good family member. There's a lot of things outside that come into play, too, with the performance on the field. So when I can really be present in each of those moments and each of those kind of categories in my life, then I feel like that's really what winning is about. How have you, here's a cliche question, but how have you changed since you came here to Boston? And there's obvious impetus for changes because of everything you went through. Yeah. But as we sit here, how do you say, this is how I'm different than maybe I didn't expect it to be different? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm a lot tougher, That's good, though. Yeah, it's good, because to be tough, you have to go through some stuff, man. It has, there's not going to be easy times, and that's where the toughness is built. And I think I'm so thankful for those moments. Obviously, in the times that they're happening, they suck, man, and you're not thankful for them. But on the other side of it, kind of where we're at now, you see this has kind of forged me to, be in the position that I'm at now and the position that our team is. And I think, everything happens for a reason. I believe in that, and I think you just got to find the perspective in each of those times to find the positive. I'm going to give you my definition of toughness, because I tell it to my high school basketball team all the time, and they don't listen to it, but maybe you will. Definition of toughness is to do something that you don't want to do with as much passion and enthusiasm as something you do want to do. Yeah. Right? That's pretty good, isn't it? Right? That's a great, I love that. That's good. I mean, it's speaks straight to the, like when you're rehabbing and you doing the same thing for 4 weeks straight, but you got to show up and do it like it's the first day. That's it. Like it's exciting and something you want to do. Yeah, I think kids see toughness as when I get hit in the face, or whatever it is. But it is really it's a mindset. And I think that to your point, that's why I'm glad I asked the question, because he was like, I'm a lot tougher than I was 3 years ago. Yeah. Which 3 years ago you probably thought I'm at the peak level of toughness. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's you don't know till you know, I guess is the best way to put it. That's another one. We get some good bumper stickers. I like it. Yeah. So when you've landed, to go back to sort of when you came to Boston, and that was a weird sort of off season and contract and everything else, and you have it put in there, where you can, if you want, you can opt out if you want after this year. How's your mindset changed? And I ask this because now you know the city, now you've changed, now you've been around this team. And I'm not asking you to say, I'm going to do this or do that. But when you have that in the contract, how do you view that differently now than even when you had the contract on? I think it's obviously the opt out is just an option to be flexible and to reevaluate. I think after. You don't know. You don't know what you're doing. You never know. You never know exactly how, because I would have never thought
the first 3 years would have went how they did here, and they did. So that's kind of the point of the opt out, is for both sides to have a little flexibility to see see where this thing's going. And like I've said, man, I love it. I love Boston. This is a second home to us, and so we're I don't see anything happening, but obviously there's business side of it too. So we love being here. I love playing for the Red Sox. And
do you love it more than you thought you would? Is that where
I just knew I was going to love it.
I know that you cite like the watching the playoff game, and the people pouring beer in their face when Xander hit the home run and everything. But
right.
But I don't know. You have a different perspective now.
Yeah. No, I just feel I feel honored to play here, man. I think that's kind of the thing that hits me every time I come here to Fenway. Every time we put on the jersey, it's like it's just such a special feeling, and you don't get that. I don't think you get that everywhere. So I hold that dear to my heart, and I take that out there with me every time I play.
Can I tell you, I'm going to show you how old I am. I was sitting in this dugout right here where we're sitting, and Dustin Pedroia's rookie year, and Alex Cora is like a utility player. And they sit there. Pedroia comes out. You probably heard stories of him like showing up at noon in his uniform. Mm-hmm. And he just turns to Cora and says, "Is it like this everywhere?" And Cora's like, "No, no." I mean, but you don't know. And Nick Punto had said it once. He's like, "This place is between 7 and 10. It's just. I mean, that's what I'm saying is that you've gotten a taste of that, and you don't know. To go back to the original question, which is you don't know until you know, right?
Right. Yeah. It's just the atmosphere, kind of the whole, the history of the Red Sox, the amazing ballpark, the passion of the fans. It just feels like it means more. I think that's the way I put it best is, it feels like it means more when you show up here, and the place is buzzing always, and the fans are always into it, and they're passionate, man. They want to win just as much as us, and I think that gives us an edge.
Are you better than you ever have been? And I say this because I talked to Rob Bradford about this, where there's sometimes in your life there's a confluence of you have the education, the experience, and then the physical ability where it all sort of hits at the same time. It seems like for you right now as we sit here, that might be the case. Do you feel like you're better than ever?
Yeah. I would agree with that. I think, you're always trying to find ways to get better, and it's never a finished product. I think that's important to note, but yeah, like you said, given the experience, all the things that I've been through, and just time on the field too, I feel like, all the things are, kind of lining up to where I can, like I've said, I feel stable out there. I feel, I feel consistent. It feels like it did, for that kind of 4 or 5 year stretch there in Colorado. And
but you're more experienced. The thing is that more.
Right. I have more experience.
And you're tougher.
Yeah. So, like you said, there's a lot of things that are kind of lining up in my favor, and I feel good. I feel like I can leverage those things, leverage the experience, leverage the health now, which is something that obviously, not having to worry about your body every single day, how it's going to feel is very freeing mentally. So, I feel good about kind of all aspects of the game right now.
It's also nice to win.
Yeah, right? I mean, that's like
winning's good.
That helps. That solves everything.
Winning in Boston is tough, man. That's the other part of it. We talk about the flowers and the roses and everything else. When you don't win, it's heavy.
No, it is. It's heavy, and we feel that, man. And it's we feel a responsibility to go out there and put a winning team out there, and a team that's gonna compete for a championship every year. And we haven't done that, but we feel really good about where we're at now. We feel like these past years have, we've kind of built to where we're at now, and we feel like we're about to take off.
Let me go back a couple of weeks, obviously, with Rafi stuff. And for me, and I understand the value of Rafi, understand like the value of the teammates, the player, and everything else. But what's done is done. Ottavino came on the podcast. He's like, listen, players, you kind of just move on, right? You know, you're like, you don't. This is what it is, and we're moving on.
Yeah.
I also get the sense for you guys, and please tell me if I'm full of hooey, like that you guys were like, hey, listen, we are good enough. Like I heard the like one, you know, it's 1 of 26 or whatever, but we are good enough. And there is an element of we want to prove to people that we are good enough. We are good players. It's not just as you said, like one guy. You know, would that be fair to say?
Yeah. There's definitely, you know, kind of an attitude of that, you know, it's bigger than one guy. And I think, you know, like you said, like Otto said, the game goes on, man, and it goes on forever. Doesn't matter if you're hurt. Doesn't matter if, you know, you trade a franchise guy. It doesn't matter. Like, you have to play. The game is coming at 7 o'clock, and you got to be able to find a way to compete and win. And I think that's how we've been able to turn the page a little bit and just focus on what's the main thing, man. It's about going out there, playing ball, playing good baseball, clean baseball, and I think we've done a decent job of it there, you know, after the dust kind of settled after the trade.
And how long did it start feeling that way? Because listen, I mean, it's human nature. Like, when we're running up to you guys in Seattle, you know,
I mean, in Seattle, you know, we face, you know, 3 aces, and we face some tough pitching right after that, and San Fran too. So it's you know, these guys are good, man. And I think it just took a little time to kind of settle in and kind of re-identify, I think, who we are as a team. And I think because Rafi's such a big part of that. He was for a long time, and, you know, he carried a presence for sure. And I think just took a little time, and I think, you know, we're obviously letting the young bucks run, and it's a little different style of game where we can just be more athletic and very versatile team.
Also, communication, like this is another good thing that I think that you do well, that some guys in there do well. The communication is such a huge part of this whole equation. You know, whether it's, you know, I know you talked about it like with Craig communicating what the plan was, or you communicating like maybe what he said to somebody. I don't know. Like, the communication is a huge thing. In the course of a beast of a baseball season, people understand, like, you guys are together a lot. There's a lot of drama. There's a lot of stuff going on. And if you don't communicate, it can be a death knell, right? Yeah.
And especially here in Boston, you know, it feels like, you know, there's no little things, you know, anything can get, you know, anything can get blown out of proportion, or, you know, just feel bigger than it really is. And I think that's where the communication, especially amongst us and, you know, our teammates and with the front office and with AC, we do a great job of everyone knows what's going on in between these walls, man. And we have a clear mission. We have a clear understanding of what we need to do. And I think when it's all clear, you know, in between those clubhouse walls and up top, then, you know, the talk surrounding Fenway is
and it was just clear. And it was
up in the air.
It was clear. Like that.
It was clear.
Yeah,
it was clear.
Yeah. Well, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, of course.
What can you run a 40 in right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Did you play football? Right?
Yeah. I never really tested the 40, but
I hate when
we did the 60 in baseball. And
okay.
Yeah, my best was 6'4", 8 back in senior year of high school, but I don't know. I don't know what it would be.
I see. This is baseball players are no fun, because all I want to say is 40 in bench press. Your max bench, and no one benches except Tyler O'Neill. Like Tyler was. I asked that. He's like, yeah, he had no problem with that.
Yeah, he's got no problem with that, but. Yeah, I don't got anything for you on that one, bro.
No, it's okay. I don't. It's just my own thing. Like, I just want to know how many people max. The last thing is, like, I think we did a whole podcast on sneakers and shoes and cleats and stuff like that. So
there he is, the man himself.
The brand has never been hotter. So when you look at the way the baseball, this is a big question, but I think that you're a good guy to ask this, because you do value, whether it's the belts or the cleats or whatever. do you think baseball is going in the right direction in terms of embracing this more than ever?
Yeah, for sure. It's been cool, man. You get to, I'm not the most loud guy or, big personality,
but you know what you're doing.
I find that's my way of kind of, letting my personal flair out. And, obviously the baby blue has been my color all the way back to Colorado. So I like to pop that, within my custom cleats, and Nike does an incredible job. Meeting with them every offseason is one of my favorite things to do with, going over what we're going to do, designs for the season. And, now the belts I feel like have taken off this year. The Pioneer belts I've loved them. I know they're local in Texas, so I love to support that. And they take care of me, man. And, I think it's cool that MLB's allowing it because, that's kind of the way the world is trending,
Oh,
the kids got to have their drip. And, we're setting a good example in that way.
So I'm desperately trying. I feel like I'm using 5% of my brain when it comes to baseballs and boring. And so, like, obviously stickers and whatever, T-shirts. Bobby Dahlbeck had suggested doing the things that, like, the things that you put on your head, like the bandana things.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you have any ideas, please let me know. Like, so we can slap baseballs and boring on it.
Yeah.
Because, as you said, it's the youth.
Right.
Little Johnny wants what little Teddy wants,
Yeah. I know.
You got any ideas? So what I'm saying,
I'll think about it. Let me think about that.
Yeah, all right. I appreciate it.
I'll come up with some.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if you want to commit to this. You have tattoos? You have tattoos?
Yeah, I have two.
You have two. Yeah. Yeah. If you were Roman Anthony, win the World Series, will you get a baseballs and boring tattoo? Look at this.
We'll leave that to Roman.
Look at this. Look at that. Look,
he's non-committal. He's
right
not
there.
doing it.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
You're living the brand.
It takes 20 years off my life.
You're living the brand.
Yeah, living the brand.
That's owning it right there.
Well, listen.
But I don't know if I can commit to that.
No.
Sorry.
You know who did?
Who?
Your manager.
Did he really?
He did.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, all right. I appreciate it, man.
Of course,
you
man.
so much.
Yeah, thank you.